If you're going through something difficult right now, allow me to have a few moments of your time to encourage you today. It's important to know that there is no destiny without going through difficulty. There is no strength without experiencing weakness. There are things that turn other things into greater purpose. So it's important to experience those moments that we don't feel as fulfilled so that we recognize that there is greater. Sometimes we see that there's greater, but we don't understand the greatness. We don't always understand the knowledge. We don't always understand the wisdom. And going through the weaknesses, going through the difficulties allows us to build a momentum towards a greater impact for what we're destined for. And so, although the enemy may be wanting to discourage you with that difficulty, although the enemy may want to be discouraging you with that lack of motivation or even that weakness, I want to encourage you today in knowing this, is that we have two choices in life. And it's very simple, but yet very difficult sometimes to fully stay consistent in. And it's that we get to, number one, we get to suffer from regret, or number two, we get to suffer from the experience of being consistent. And it's important to make that decision daily. What is it that I'm willing to suffer for? Because we all go through some type of suffering that is either for a purpose, or a purpose of destruction, or a purpose of greatness. And God has created you. He's destined you for great things, meaning the things that you're going to discover through that difficulty does not compare to the difficulty. The destined for is so much greater than the difficulty that you may experience for a year, or 10 minutes, or 2 years, or however long you need to be in that process to discover what you're destined for. Okay? So I want to encourage you to write down the things that you're destined for. Do you know what you're destined for? Have you written it down? Remember that the word says that the people perish without a vision. People with a lack of vision will perish. So start to create that vision for your life. Start to write that down. Start to speak it out. Allow yourself to have a conscience of what you are destined for. Not what others have necessarily told you, but what God has told you. And if you're not for sure what God has told you, look deep within yourself. What is it that you've been desiring? What you may have been desiring may be a desire from God. And it's about dissecting the motives, dissecting the things that keep that vision weak, allowing those difficult things to strengthen you and to help you find a greater strength within yourself. Remember that you're not forgotten, you're not forsaken. God has destined you for this moment. He's allowing this difficulty to come in because it's going to set you up. It's not meant to set you back. It's meant to set you up. It's meant to prepare you. It's meant to help you gain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that can only come through being in the mud first. That can only come through having to learn what it means to have balance and to sacrifice, and also at the same time learning how to rise up. We cannot build momentum without being in the driver's seat first. And I like to think of the difficulty as fuel for my engine, for my gas tank, that's going to allow me to go an extra mile. Because when I face difficult things, it either does two things. And really, I think this is the power that it has based upon how we feel and how we allow it to affect us, right? This is going to be the power of either regret or the power of consistency. Is that it's either going to motivate me to keep going, right? And going after what I'm destined for, which is according to God's will, His purpose, and His plan for my life. Or it's going to keep me unmotivated and unaware. And it's going to have me staying in fear. And because of that fear, procrastination and regret. So be encouraged by what you're going through right now, again, because there is no destiny without difficulty. There is no strength without weakness. And we trade those things in by actually experiencing them, not running from them. Even our bodies know that we're destined to be here, so they keep us in surviving. Even when we have experienced the most traumatic things, we are not dying, but we are surviving these things because even our bodies know how precious we are to God. So how much more can you do when you allow yourself to thrive in these situations and not just survive? What happens is the discovery becomes so much greater than you ever had hoped for or ever even have spoken about. You end up sitting in rooms that you were dreaming about. You end up speaking with people that you've been watching from a distance that are abundantly filled people, meaning they lack no good thing in their lives. Those are the things, the places, the people that you want to be around because it's going to allow you to again find more out about your destiny and in some places help you fulfill it. So I am cheering for you. Remember to keep placing your hope in God and have a blessed day.